All for tuning in to Black Video News. That's right, it's election time, re-election time, and our county commissioner, this was the deadline. We're here at the Bexar County Democratic Party office right here in the Alamo City with our county commissioner. How you doing?
Brother, I can't feel better. You know, I filed at the deadline last time, and it was good luck for me. I had 8 opponents, and God took care of the rest. So we're excited. We may not have any opponents, but I'm going to tell you, Keith, I'm going back on doorsteps. I'm going to ask people what their top issues, because over the course of 4 years, things change in the neighborhood. So just whether or not I have an opponent or not, I'm your servant, and I'll be back on doorsteps asking people what are the top 3 issues for your neighborhood, what are the top 3 issues for your family and your household, as well as for your country, so that I can stay in tune, and that when I speak at Commissioner's Court, they understand I'm speaking because I have been talking to the people, and the people really have the answers. That's part of the success. I want the people of Precinct 4 to know they have always been the real trailblazers. People in the neighborhood, they know 5 years before a politician what the solutions are. So when you go on doorsteps and you ask and you listen, they'll give you a lot of solutions. So I was able to hit the ground running. I told people I'd be the most prepared commissioner on day one, and I think I've demonstrated that. And that's partly because we listen to people. They have the solutions for their neighborhoods. They're the experts. They're the experts. I don't live in those neighborhoods 24/7. It's a big precinct from northeast, east, southeast, downtown, goes west to 10 and Hildebrand. So it is so important that more elected officials stay relevant and listen. And, you know, right now we got a lot of issues to fight for, because we got people really suffering on the affordable housing. Things are getting more expensive out there. We need to look at the transitioning of jobs. You know, the economy is changing.
Yes, it is.
Very quickly.
Yes, it is.
And people are not really ready for the robotics that are about to happen, and the computerization that's about to happen. But I'm doing my best to plant the seeds for job training. I think that's really what we need right now. We have politicians out here scapegoating Mexicans as the reason for the loss of their job, when they know good and darn well that it's big billionaire companies who are creating machines and outsourcing jobs overseas, meanwhile trying to scapegoat Hispanics. So I think progressive leaders like myself need to say what America needs is a job training, massive job training program, because you still need somebody to fix the robot. You still need somebody to program the computer screen when Macy's closes or Sears closes, these JCP, all these stores are closing, Best Buy is closing down. You still need people to be able to program the computer screens and things of that nature. So we're working on those things, trying to get our community ready, because this is a community I love.
Well, you know, you reached the deadline, and I remember, too, when you got in the office, I was actually a part of you know, going out that day. It was a cold day. It was a rainy day. You took off running. But there's still some unfinished business, like you talked about, and that's why you're doing it again, right, Commissioner?
You know, a lot of people don't vote because I think politics, the issues that politicians choose to select are not necessarily the ones that people need help with. And so what I'm trying to do in getting people relief at home, whether it's purchasing a home or whether it's repairing an older home, I think those things are relevant. You know, I know people right now who are suffering because they can't fix a lot of the things going on. And I think that would improve the voter turnout in our community if people had a little help. You know, we gave $100 million to repair the AT&T Center. Why can't we help you repair your home?
Yeah, especially our seniors.
Amen. Their senior citizens have been paying for decades into the county's tax system. I don't look at it as my money. I look at it as your money.
Right.
And I'm trying to return some of your money. The federal government gives you money back for your homestead and those kinds of exemptions on your taxes. They appreciate that kind of investment. And that's important, especially in a majority minority city. We have to pass on wealth. The number one way that we pass on wealth is home ownership. That's the number one asset people have. It's not buying a Mercedes-Benz, it's buying a home and passing it down to build generational wealth.
Well, Commissioner, it seems like you already got your agenda. You know, there's some unfinished business, and it seems like you're going to take off running if you get back in office.
We're focused on the crime issue. We're focused on making people safe in their neighborhoods. We're focused on the fact that, particularly in my northeast area, there's not enough for youth to do. Right. I know that. I got to get my commissioners on my commissioners court. I got to get their priorities straight. We've got a lot of money going out for a lot of things, but we ought to be helping our kids after school get job training so that they can get a job and something that they can make some money with. We need to be helping families who they're not fully literate, have literacy and get job training too. We need to be able to get to the root sources of crime and stabilize families. We got to get our priorities straight. My priority is to help people with revitalizing our older neighborhoods, returning the dollars back to the people, and our priorities are jobs and making sure that people in this community are ready for the information technology economy.
Well, Commissioner, I want to thank you. It seems like you have your agenda. We're right here at the Democratic Party, right here at the office, right here in the Alamo City with our county commissioner. This is Keith Scott with this special report.
I just want to thank everybody who's here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for welcoming us back to your house here. We're excited. There's a lot to be done. You know, you have to really think about the sacrifice of public service, but I know that our community needs someone to stand up and champion the issues for working people in our community, and I'm ready to get that fight. You know, we wanted to invite our friends from the neighborhoods, our business groups, all of our supporters here, because this is what makes Precinct 4 such an incredible place to serve. All of you. The victory 4 years ago was the people of Precinct 4's victory. Correct. It was a victory for putting common sense, putting equality, putting justice, putting working people first. So I want to thank you all for the honor of being a servant. We promised you the first day that I was elected I'd be back on doorsteps, and we did that. We went back into the Camelot area where there's been trash, where for over a decade they tried to get a piece of legislation passed. Well, thanks to the work that I used to do at the American Anti-Slavery Group, I knew a thing or two about getting a bill passed through a legislative body. Right. And so we're not done for sure. I promised that we would do something about Southeast Baptist Hospital being closed. We saw on South Cross deterioration that was beginning to happen. Right away I stepped in, reached out to all the hospital districts, and we were so proud that Methodist came in. It was a godsend, because in the deed for Southeast Baptist, no other hospital district was supposed to be able to take over. And so the fact that Baptist allowed Methodists to come in, and now not only do we have some primary care, we've got some dental care, we've got mental health care, we've got community services, a community place. And you know, the deal on Hot Wells. Hot Wells was an institution for former presidents and Hollywood stars, and that deal was dead. It was as dead as Frankenstein. But my specialty in international relations was global conflict and negotiation. So I went in there. I represent the opposite side of the street of Hot Wells. It's in Commissioner Rodriguez's precinct. I don't usually do that, but it was important to the whole region to see Hot Wells brought back to life as a cultural park. And we're excited that that deal was, Frankenstein came back to life.
Calvert for president! Calvert for president!
But we still have work to do on the southeast side. We're working on the southeast side on the largest foreign direct investment project in the history of the county. $2.5 billion I hope to announce in the new year, coming off of 410 and South Cross Boulevard. That's going to be transformative, a new city in the Southeast. At a time where our president is trying to build walls between us, I'm building bridges between us. And let me mention another thing. I remember
a better president than what we got.
I remember before the president started talking about he saved 750 jobs for Carrier. Well, let me tell you, I feel really fortunate that we're working. I've campaigned. I made you a promise that we would bring foreign investment to leverage American investment and create jobs for our people. Well, we've done that. In downtown San Antonio, we're going to have the nicest residence and the nicest hotel, a business class hotel they call the Thompson, and the Arts residence right across from the Tobin. And guess what, Mr. Trump? That's not going to be 700 jobs. That's going to be 1,300
Keep it coming.
Yeah. There's a lot more. There's a lot more.
That's a lot. The Hilliard building that you put over.
We're so proud. We're so proud. You know, I call myself a bootleg realtor, a bootleg realtor.
Well, take it.
You know, I took Randy Herrig and Bob Bentley on a real estate tour about 3 years ago, and I said, look, this is where the public investments come in. The private sector can marry with what we're doing. And so we have the University Health Clinic, the Robert Hilliard Clinic. I'm so proud because Bexar County Hospital District should be proud that the first African American to have a medical specialty in the county was sponsored, his internship, by Bexar County Hospital back in the 50s.
Yes.
Dr. Robert Hilliard, former councilman, former chairman of SAWS, former chairman of the San Antonio Housing Authority, former city councilman, a great man, had a national impact as president of the National Medical Association, and the University Health System has never, only the Robert B. Green Clinic has been named after someone in the University Health System, but Robert Hilliard will have his clinic January. None of these things come by accident. We worked hard to get the Northeast Sheriff Substation. We were spending a lot of money coming from the Deep South, going all over town, burning tires and gas. We'll have, we know about the crime wave that's been hitting all across the county. Crime's up 20%. I'm committed to getting to the root causes of crime, and I know that with your support, we can help our Commissioners Court understand that more resources are needed for our agencies. So many of our young people don't have places to go, and I see partnerships with groups like the Judson Foundation and East Central and SAISD and NEISD. I represent 10 school districts of the 17 school districts in Bexar County, and I know that the county can create, we don't have to wait for the federal government to give us community schools. Our schools ought to be open all times a day, on the weekends, where parents can get adult literacy, where parents can get job training, where young people don't have to go when they get sick away from the school. They can stay in the school with a doctor and healthcare and clinics. That's the way we ought to be thinking, so that we don't have to build a new building. We can have it all and support the schoolhouse, and we don't have to wait. They did it in Harlem, Mr. Chairman, and it's been tremendously successful in changing lives. I'm running again because we've got an economy that's changing. It's changing, and I'm going to tell you, none of us are ready. No city is ready. We've got shift. You know, we started as an agricultural economy. Then we became an industrial economy. Well, now we're the information technology economy. And understanding computer IT classes, understanding science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that's where our young people and those who have lost jobs in manufacturing, that's where they have to go. And so, you know, the jobs like working at McDonald's, those are going to be gone. You're going to have a robot come and give you your order, okay? You already see it at the movie theaters, right? There's not as many clerks working at the movie theaters. Well, it's all being replaced by machines. But guess what? You're going to need someone who can program that computer. You're going to need somebody who can fix that robot. And that's what I work very hard. In my first 10 months in office, I got our Greater Chamber to get with some teachers and develop a curriculum for the basic IT courses, CompTIA, Network Plus, Security Plus, Plus Plus. I don't know what they mean, but I know that's what you're because that's what I need to hire there. And let me tell you, I had Major General Flowers, African American, longest serving general in all of the Department of Defense, over 45 years of service, and Hong Deng, our friend from the Asian Chamber. They sat me down and they said, look, Tommy, if the schools would take a curriculum, I could hire these young people at $35,000 without a college degree. And within 5 years, they'll be making $100,000. And you know who I thought about? I thought about the people in Precinct 4 and how transformative that would be for our families to be able to have those kinds of jobs. But we got it done. But it's not over. It's up to us to make sure our school districts and our superintendents really stay on top of this. I got to be honest, they're not really on top of this. But I want to tell you, 43% of the jobs in the future, they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. They're going to be replaced by machines. And so we got to get our people ready. You see the stores, we're going online, you know, so we're going to lose Best Buys and Macy's, those jobs that we used to have. It's going to be changed. We got to be ready. So I'm trying to get us ahead. And finally, you know, I've helped to elevate the issue of affordable housing. This issue is something we are very behind on in San Antonio and Bexar County. This is about the American dream of owning a home, of building wealth, handing that wealth down to the next generation. It's very important. We have 10% less home ownership in Bexar County than the rest of the state. State's 64%, we're 55%, and it's getting worse. You know why? Frankly, we in public office, we've incentivized the highest rents, and we haven't done anything for the working class, the middle class, and it's time. Those incentive policies change. We ought to be making it where young people and working people and the majority of our community, 60 to 100% of our community who are working people, they ought to be able to save 3% to 30% that the banks recommend for a down payment on a home. And the county has a role in incentivizing that. The county has a role in providing housing for people who are mentally ill. We have been incarcerating them in our jail. Your jail is your largest mental health facility. About 1,000 people in your jail are mentally ill. They don't belong in the jail. They belong in an assisted living facility where they can stay on their meds, where they can have counselors when they get help. These are just a few of the reasons that I'm running again. These are the issues that we will champion, but I want to let you know, I've been championing these issues for the last 3 years. Your voice is the voice that I need now to come to Commissioner's Court and tell the commissioners to support these initiatives, which you all understand are critical for the future of our community. We've got to revitalize our older homes, help our seniors who have housing falling apart, our working class, because it's going to end up saving us on north side traffic, frankly. If we make sure that the areas where we already have streets, where we already have drainage, where we already have police and fire, if we bring those older communities back to life, like Denver Heights, helping people with housing costs of reconstruction, that's going to benefit all the county, all the city. So, it's on to signing. We're ready to get to work.
Calvert is the way to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Calvert is the way to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Calvert is the way to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Calvert is the way to go.
Thank you.
Okay.
And this is, that's not the one you signed, but, so you can read it.
Okay.
Raise your right hand.
You bet.
And go for it.
I, Tommy Calvert, of Bexar County, Texas, being a candidate for the office of County Commissioner Precinct 4, swear that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of the state of Texas. I am a citizen of the United States, eligible to hold such office under the Constitution and laws of this state. I have not been finally convicted of a felony for which I have not been pardoned or had my full rights of citizenship restored by other official action. I have not been determined by a final judgment of a court exercising probate jurisdiction to be totally mentally incapacitated or partially mentally incapacitated without the right to vote. I'm aware of the nepotism law, Chapter 573 of Government Code, and I further swear that the foregoing statements included in my application are in all things true and correct.